Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, clap out loud and let's welcome Vishnu!
Guys, are you able to hear me clearly? Perfect, sounds good. A little bit of housekeeping actually. Just making sure my demo was going to be there amongst the presentations because it's going to be part of the presentation. Let me just introduce myself. I'm Vishnu Kode. I am, voice is too low? All right, thanks. Let me know if I'm not audible, please let me know, guys. I am Vishnu Kode. I am the chief architect and the founder of StackOS and a chief counsel at the Cloud Foundation. So let me first begin with this question to all of you guys here. You know, this big crowd I can see. How many of you guys are developers? That's a big number. What about the marketing folks here? All right, all the marketing folks, please, out of the door, please. Sorry about that. It's a joke, right? I think it's critical, I guess, when you're in this community, in this space, it's not just for developers, right? I think it's a wrong notion people have that, you know, a Web3 space is all developers. It is not, and I think that is where, you know, this criticality comes in, because we need the marketing folks to really able to transform the knowledge and the tech side and make it simpler for the ecosystem as a whole. So that's kind of, you know, I applaud you guys to be here and thank you for contributing in this space. So talking about me a little bit, I'm Vishnu Kode. I graduated from Harvard, and apart from that, you know, I have worked in US for almost 10 years and worked in pretty much in the cloud and the cloud space. Worked with multinational companies which have done billions of dollars in transaction every day pretty much. So that's kind of my experience comes in. That's where I met my co-founder, Karthik Gantasala. He's sitting right there. So he's a CTO in the house, and please applaud for him, guys. So both of us came together and we started StackOS. We were co-workers, and now we're here working together on StackOS, which is great. Now, next slide is basically talking about decentralized Vishnu. This is me when I was first introduced to blockchain and Bitcoin in 2012. One of my co-workers, he keeps saying that I have a tear in my eye somewhere out there because I lost 100 Bitcoins, which I got it for $500. And yeah. So I don't try anymore. You know, there's a lessons we learn the hard way, I guess, right? But it's good. It's on the good spirit. So yeah. So let me start with this: the current tech landscape, right? Which is kind of critical because all of us talk about decentralized cloud, and we talk about Web3 and not really understanding what the differences are. So let me start with, as an example, what would you do to Facebook to really decentralize this in the current landscape, right? So if you talk about these different layers, there's a presentation layer, there's a data storage layer, there is AI analytics, integrations, and data sources. And let me talk about this in detail. First, I would like to talk about it in terms of what it means with respect to Facebook. So this is the front-end layer. This is where the user experience comes in. That means your browser, when you open it, you're able to enter your details to deploy applications. The second one is the data storage layer, which basically represents that, let's say a user, when he puts in information on Facebook, like my name and my occupation and whatnot, all that gets stored in the databases, right? And all the pictures, photographs we share with our friends, all those things get shared or get stored on S3 file storage, which is an AWS's offering. Artificial intelligence and analytics, right? This is what most organizations, including Facebook, use to actually use the data which they collect and use it to predict what it should be. And for example, you can tell Facebook recommends you to become friends with someone else which you possibly are friends with already, right? So that's kind of how AI comes in. Again, in the current landscape, what they do is they use services like messaging service and notification service, where let's say someone makes sends a message about you, or sends you a personal message, you get them and it notifies you, right? And the data sources with external real-world data, which comes in to really enhance your experience of using Facebook. And that's kind of what people usually use in the current world, right? And I think what's going to be critical is that how do you transform each of these components into the Web3 space, right? So if you look at the details, right, I think what the Web3 or the claimed state of Web3 is that it has a storage layer, right, which is IPFS, and also stores data information contracts, again, on IPFS, on Ethereum blockchain. Polygon, is a great one. And then there are spaces for external data, which comes in from, other parts of the world, and that's how you get data which is off-chain, on-chain, right? And I think that's kind of a great initiative which Chainlink has done. And by the way, Chainlink is a very old partner of ours, and they do a really good job at that. So, and this is what it really happens. I mean, we all talk about like decentralization, Web3, but this is what ends up happening. If you look at the presentation layer, it's pretty much on AWS. Talk about AI and analytics, again on AWS. Integrations, messaging service, again on AWS. And the thing is, this is what is happening in this world, and I think that's what I guess is something which we look at as something which has to be solved for personally. But then this provokes the question, right? I think, is this really decentralized if you're using using AWS, GCP, Azure? No. There you go, right? So I hear a bunch of no's here. So that's exactly true. So I guess that's where Stackverse comes in. It is a place where you can pretty much replace the presentation layer, the AI integrations with StackOS. And that's kind of how this thing works. To give a short brief of what is really the key differentiator of StackOS amongst present, current, let's say, AWS. So we do not care about who you are, right? I think that's one thing which people mostly like. Most developers, what they like more than free airdrops is anonymity, right? I think today, we had about 7 or 8 people who came to our booth and said, hey, how can we deploy anonymously? And that's what they were really looking for. So that's anonymous for you. It's super fast, literally. You can come to StackOS today, you have a Dockerized application, you go click a button, it deploys, right? That's kind of how it is. Then there's a no-code UI, which is pretty much is designed so that you don't have to be really a tech geek to understand how to do this. For everybody's knowledge, right, and the ones who have done this and not done this both, one of the most expensive operations in engineering is actually DevOps and cloud security, and there's a bunch of different tech stacks which are required, and they are extremely highly paid resources. And I was in the US, and I used to manage a big team of DevOps, but I can tell you, having just 3 engineers or half-baked DevOps engineers cost about $500,000 just to maintain a 24-hour support, right? Just for a very small organization. So that's a lot of capital. So what StackOS does is completely eliminates the need for these DevOps engineers here, right? And, and the last thing is the cost effectiveness. So again, StackOS is, cheaper than most of these services. You do not have to pay a single dollar for the DevOps operations. It's just that you write an application, deploy, click, and it's there, right? And that's the power which we enable people with. You get that support without it. And of course, because most of the resources are coming from people, and you don't pay individually for these load balancers and all the tech stuff which comes with running real applications in production. Right, so that's kind of how cost effectiveness becomes, right? We also use multi-tenants as well. Again, all these costs are segregated, and again, they share the resources and whatnot. So that's kind of how it's cost effective. So one thing I would like to mention, this is something which we're very proud of, right? We are the category leaders in D-Cloud, and thank you. So currently, one of the organizations, this D-Cloud Foundation, is the one which governs this protocol, and we are working really closely with them to be able to make things. By the way, to that note, we have other partners like 0x Carbon, which are also trying to contribute directly, actively on the StackOS protocol. So we have it's not just us doing it now, the other organizations coming together to help build this ecosystem. And we are the world's most utilized and the fastest growing D-Cloud. And this thing doesn't come easy, guys. It's a lot of work, right? And just to make a note of this is, we surpassed our competitor in the month of January. And we are now, in 6 months, 3 times as large as they are. So that just shows us our leadership position and how fast we are growing. So just to give some numbers out there, some statistics, which are usually what people like to see. So far, we have served over 54 million websites through the StackOS network. And there are about 5,000 concurrent applications running on StackOS as we speak right now. So that's pretty cool. It's insane to think about like applications running and doing all that. About 1,500 projects have been deployed parallelly as well. So that's kind of what we are doing here. So if you want, let's take a step further and talk about the details of how do you do this exactly, right? And how do you use it? So for developers, I think it's going to be of immense value to know how to do this. So first thing is, how many of you understand Docker here? So if you say, I think 70% of the developers know Docker here, which is excellent, right? That's what we want. And the ones who don't know, please catch up with it, because this is what everyone uses nowadays. Pretty much Google, Facebook, Amazon, pick any names, they all have applications which are Dockerized. You will increase your market value just by knowing Docker, right? Even if you don't want to be in Web3, so just FYI. But Docker is a global standard nowadays for containerized applications, where you can package your app into a container and you can just use it to deploy, right? It's basically a file with 5 to 10 lines, and you can Dockerize your app pretty quickly, fairly quickly. Now, you Dockerize your application, that's step one. The second one would be to reserve compute. So you go to the UI, as I said earlier, like Stack is a no-code UI, right? It's a no-code application. So you basically go to the UI, log in, and plug in the details, and the application will be running, right? So similarly, just come on board, you reserve the compute on StackOS, and then you just put those details of your image name, your port, your domain if you have one, otherwise StackOS will offer you that anyway, and you click a button, and there you go. I think that's how quick this is, right? I mean, we do this, right? Since I'm just talking about this, sorry. Since talking about this, just as you see, while I'm speaking, I'll just probably show you how to deploy an app in real time in under 2 minutes. So, can you please switch over to the laptop, please? Yeah. No internet. Is there internet I can connect with? I have a 2.5-year-old son, as I mentioned earlier. Every time she says Poco X3, I think of Mammy Poco pants. All right, housekeeping, guys. Sorry about that. All right, now I think we can move to the presentation here, please. Okay, so here's what you do, right? Once you have your MetaMask installed, I think that is kind of critical. In the morning, I think there was a good workshop by the Firefox guys, the MetaMask guys. So you connect to the Polygon network, and you can pick a cluster or subnets in the new V2 which we have. You log in again with MetaMask, sign in, and then you can see the applications currently deployed using my MetaMask wallet, right? So this is kind of what it is. It's usually segregated into testnets, applications, databases, but of course you can do much more. I'll talk about it a little bit more in the consecutive presentation. So once you're there, and let me give you an example of how we actually start paying with it, right? So you basically come to this UI, and you can plug in numbers like 2,500 or something like that, right? And then memory, you can pick the numbers you want, like how much compute, memory, CPU you need. For current applications, I don't need much, and I already have enough compute here, so I've already paid for. So what I do is I come here, and then I I can basically go create a new application and plug in the details of my Docker image, port services I need to be opened, the domain name, which you can put your domain name here, and if you have any environment variables and whatnot, put the compute and memory and number of replicas. So this is how many pods you want across the world to serve your application, and then you just whitelist it to whatever IPs you want. Right? What I will do is, for the sake of easiness, I will go to the App Store. And App Store has like already apps which are there predefined here. So I will just probably pick one of these games here. Let me just pick one of the guys. There's a popular demand for Doom or XGL. Is there a recommendation between XGL and Doom? XGL. Doom it is. All right. So people have played Doom. So basically Doom has we have an image which we have made for this. They can put their port and the CPU memory, whatnot. Could deploy, might be there. But you saw this, so it's pretty much like a no-brainer. There you go, right? So that's how fast an app actually comes up. Let me just see. Maybe give a few seconds and a minute for it to come up. There it is. That is a game for you running on Web3, right? So that's how cool it is. Play one game? Oh shit. All right, let me see if I can just make sure my system preferences and my speaker, it doesn't sound that great without it, so. Output. What is built in? Cool. Maybe. Yeah, it's not fair, I know. I forgot the keys. Alright, there's no sound here, guys, but it plays on when it's not connected to the dashboard. Shit, I'm gonna die. Damn it. Oh no, dead, right? I think that's kind of, how it works. That's TagOS again. So, that's kind of demo. It's pretty quick. You just saw it was not much. It was much more of me talking than me really doing work with it. So yeah, I'll probably, if you can just switch it back to the presentation, please. Thank you. So one thing what I want to add is, right, the best time to really contribute and work with TagOS is now. Right? And I think it's kind of critical because we are looking for developers. We've recently hired about 5 engineers in the last 1.5 months. So we're constantly growing our team there. Also from the community side of things, marketing side of things, the ones I asked to walk out, all those guys are required here. Please help us, to really scale this up and more. Okay, there's a swag. Let me talk about V2 first. I think, okay, you know what? Let me just start with the swag first, I guess. I can probably just throw a few of them, not all of them.
Right. Wait.
Okay, no. All right. There you go. So it doesn't reach you.
I have a suggestion, Vishnu.
Yes.
Right? You spoke for about 30 odd minutes. You did some interesting stuff.
Yes.
Let's reward the guys who perhaps would do a quick quiz, right? And
Absolutely.
were they paying attention,
Absolutely.
right? Let's make it worth the effort.
Absolutely.
Can I have a handled mic? Because I just need to jump out a little more and make some noise. Because I am so physically tired that if I don't jump around, I'm going to sleep right now. So please give me a handled mic, someone. Thank you, Sahil.
Can I just finish one thing before we go to the questions, please? So the version 2 is coming. So this is a big change for us. The protocol level change is happening. I don't want to give timelines because the moment I put that, the Telegram is flooded with, when V2. So I want to avoid a lot of that. But, that's a big protocol upgrade which we have and something to look out for, guys.
Lovely. So a lot of great stuff Vishnu was talking about. Sorry, Vishnu, I wasn't personally here in the entire stuff. But it seemed so interesting that I actually want to schedule a call, and I would love to know more about it because it seemed very interesting.
Yeah.
Just that all the other guys who I've met in Bangalore never spoke about this to me. So you know who you need to talk to.
Now I do. Perfect.
All right. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Vishnu. And very important, let's do a Q&A, right? Let's talk about what was he saying. So any quick Okay, wait. Let me actually go out to people,
Yes.
right? And let's talk to you. Hi, कैसे हो आप? All good.
I've just arrived.
So you're stuck around, right? What game? Okay, hold on. Nobody say. What game was he playing?
Doom.
Doom.
Yeah.
1 or 2?
I have no idea.
Doom is the right answer. Congratulations.
In fact, since I actually arrived late, I have a serious question. This D-Cloud that you say, the decentralized cloud, so where exactly is the app being actually hosted at the end?
Yeah.
So it's running on distributed rendering like the GPUs,
Yes.
or on like a render network or something like that, or something else?
So anyone in the world should be able to launch a cluster. So StackOS is very unique from many other protocols. People usually talk of nodes, right? And they use nodes as a way to scale. So the way StackOS is designed is that operators launch clusters, and clusters are a group of nodes. And let's be honest, guys. So when a real web, having a real web application running, requires people to make sure that they are horizontally scalable. And servers die all the time. That is a true fact with any Web2 companies or any company in the world, including Polygon for many things. So here's the case, right? What we do is we ensure that when customers are using an application, they are not centered to a single node. A cluster is a group of nodes. So if no node dies, the apps are constantly moving in different parts of the nodes, right? And then again, they are decentralized at the network level. So it goes from one cluster to another as well. Sorry, can't hear you.
Basically, it means that StackOS is also acting like a blockchain, like an amount of partition, there's a certain amount of nodes. And then what is the number of nodes that is actually required to be so whatever kind of time. So basically, in that sense, I think the idea is to have it's more like a blockchain, and I understand, right?
Yes, that's correct. So it decentralizes the network because anyone can contribute the nodes and the clusters actually to really serve real-world applications, right? And there's a reason. I think our key focus again has been user experience. As I said earlier, right? We overtook the competitor. Did I say that? I'm not sure, but we overtook the competitor in the month of January, and today we are 3 times as large as the second largest competitor now. So,
in fact, kudos to you and the team, and in fact, I would like to advise everybody here that there's so much of noise in Web3, but these are the kind of applications which are actually giving Web3 the true decentralized meaning of what Web3 is all about. Is the decentralized cloud storage, there's decentralized, GPU rendering, there's a lot of other stuff, but then quite a lot of the things are also noise in Web3. So you've got to avoid the noise and focus on the real work.
yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
Vishnu.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and this is for you. Thank you so much. Let's have another quick question with someone. Somebody else at the back, the guy with the orange T-shirt. Yeah. Hi. What's up? What's your name?
My name is Saurabh.
Sour.
Yeah.
Like sweet and sour.
Saurabh.
Saurav. Sorry, yaar, मेरे को आवाज ठीक से नहीं आई. So Saurav, you were paying attention?
Yeah.
Great, yeah. So Vishnu, question for Saurav.
Please.
नहीं, quiz कर रहे हैं ना, so you will.
Acha. Oh, after quiz.
Yeah.
Man, that's bad. All right. So, what does StackOS do?
So StackOS provides the decentralized solution for the server architecture. So we can pay in the crypto form, and we can connect the wallet and decentralizedly. We can host our Docker images and all.
I'm glad you answered that question. 100% right.
100% right. Congratulations. And I think this is the only, one of the only merches that come in small sizes. So congratulations.
We already had a talk with him previously. Yeah.
तो merch चाहिए नहीं है चाहिए चाहिए ना okay great let's see no go back to the other guy in the orange behind him because he got up and I don't want his friends to tease him. So buddy, you, hi, what's your name?
My name is Anay.
And where are you from?
Pune.
Very nice. Welcome to Goa.
Yeah.
First time to Goa?
Yeah.
First time to Goa?
Yes.
क्या किया?
Everything I've been
Everything कर दिया bro.
almost, yeah. I've
Almost.
been from 10th, so yeah. Parties हो गई, ये हो गया. Now attending this conference, yeah.
कुछ और किया?
भी पड़ेगा ना.
शाम को कुछ और किया था?
नहीं.
झूठ नहीं बोलने का. क्या बोलना शाम को?
Nothing much. Party, drinks, that's all.
Then, how was the greenery of Goa? How was it?
It's good. Goa is great. The vibe is great. The climate is great.
No, then he didn't know what I was saying. So, okay. Okay, Vishnu, question for him.
So what kind of applications can be deployed on StackOS?
So applications that can be deployed, yeah. So anything that requires to contact with other MetaMask or any wallets that you want to connect. So apps related to cloud or anything like those can be deployed on StackOS.
Right, you can basically use artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all the different tools, we can actually, create on StackOS and use it. Because right now, to be honest, right, I think if you talk about blockchains are not designed for, running AI, machine learning, data processing, messaging. That's impossible to do. So that's what I think StackOS comes in. But yeah, thank you for that answer.